Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Cocktail Hour. I am Meg.
And I'm Nikki. And if you are a wedding vendor headed to a wedding this weekend, this episode is dedicated to you.
And today we are talking about, essentially the question is, are weddings even worth it?
No.
And as wedding vendors, I feel like this is an interesting topic for us to chat about. And then we're trying something new. And Nikki makes a really good point about not being repetitive and making sure that we are feeding into the people who listen and what you're liking and what you're not liking. So if you hate this last segment of the show, you tell us and we'll
let us know.
We'll never do it again because it saves me time. Totally fine. But the third segment that we're going to be introducing is just like a little mini mentorship series, because Nikki and I get approached a lot of like, hey, let's grab a coffee, or hey, like questions in the DMs, which is all well and good. And we thought, well, we have this platform. Why don't we kind of cover from top to bottom what this looks like in terms of business and booking wedding clients and all that good stuff. So that's what we'll be doing at the back end of the show. But before that,
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. My very favorite part.
I want to hear what this is all about.
Okay, so y'all know I write the craziest notes. So number one, I wrote the phrase travel the world alone. And I thought about this because I was at a restaurant with Adam and we were just like grabbing dinner, random date night. And I really was a hot mess. You know, when like everything, like you spill your water a little bit, you like hit your, like just every little thing you're doing, it seems like you don't know how to function.
Yeah, like your purse gets stuck on a door handle.
Yeah, all these things were happening. And Adam just looked at me and he was like, how do you survive day to day? And I joked with him that when he and I are not together, I have literally traveled the world alone, like across an ocean. I don't need him to survive. However, the moment he is around, I do feel like sometimes I become an idiot. And I don't think I do it intentionally, but I'm not feeling like I have to be on guard.
Or like take on the responsibility of like, same.
Yeah, I become an idiot.
I am by far one of the most independent people that I've ever met. But as soon as I'm with Craig, I'm like, okay, well, you're going to drive me everywhere 100%. Now. I don't need to worry about like where to go or what the directions are or how to get there. I don't know.
I've conditioned Adam that if we're walking across a street or like the crosswalk into Target or something, you must hold my hand. And I know that's so dramatic because, again, I've gotten my ass on airplanes alone. And like, but when we're crossing the street, I would like you to hold my hand. And I don't know why.
I'm just a baby.
Yeah, I'm just a baby. Do you know how many times a week I say that to him? Like, I'm just a little girl. What do you want from me?
Just a 32-year-old girl.
Yeah, little girl.
Leave me alone.
So I thought that was a little funny. I had to make sure I made a note of that.
That is funny.
Also, speaking of 32, my fear is outweighing my pettiness.
I see that.
So, driving down the road after our wedding, I'm on 35.
Yeah.
And I see in my rear view fucking Tokyo Drift, like these people racing each other behind me. Now, 5-ish, maybe even less years ago, I would have been like, okay, I see them half a mile back. How do I strategically place myself in one of these lanes so that I can ride, parallel with the person next to me?
This was you last year.
And I'm going to fuck their nights up. Like, no more vroom vroom, slow the fuck down, you're going to kill someone. However, Saturday night, I'm driving, I look behind me, and I stay in my lane because I see 2 open lanes to my left that I know they'll pass by me. And I'm just like praying to whomever, please don't let them hit me, even clip my car, because then we're both just like we are both fucked. Please just like get past, kill yourselves. I don't care. Clearly,
go away.
You do not care for your life, but I have a lot to live for. I really don't want to die. Please. And then they zoom by and I go, oh, okay. So I just feel like I've gotten to the age where, I am very fearful, and it outweighs what I'm trying to.
I feel like mine is the opposite. I feel like with age, I've gotten worse and like more confrontational and more like aggressive and more like, I don't give a fuck.
I think I have from a social standpoint, like if someone's being mean to a barista and like calls them a word. Oh.
See, I don't think I'd
Squabble
put
up.
in these situations. I think I've been protected from these situations
Yeah.
because I would go to jail.
Yeah.
I would be in jail. I
Would
saw
you
a TikTok of a girl who was like, people were trying to find her and out her because she like shoved her dog, and there were people just like watching. I would be in federal prison for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't think you'd pull out your phone and be like, let me capture this abuse on tape. You'd be like, oh, I'm gonna whomp your ass. Yeah, I know. I just saw a video of like
a
dog groomer
I don't
pushing
know.
dogs
No,
around.
I can't do
saying.
that.
I was very upset though.
I cannot.
Very upset.
Like, I'll fly to California, wherever you are. I don't know.
Okay, videos on TikTok. I fucking hate that I'm back on the TikTok, but these videos get sent to me and it'll be like, if this video has found you on July 20th, I immediately go and look at my phone. I'm like, it's July 20th. And it's some like, you are, manifesting great wealth in your life. And even though I know that we're just like, I'm like a grandparent who's on Facebook who believes everything that they see. But I legit, Nick, I'm like,
you'll touch so much money in July if you share this orange. I'm sending these to myself.
Yeah.
Because they're coming across my page.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Who am I to fuck? Wait, what does that one say?
I'm sending all of these. All of them. When I tell you, when they come across my page, it's like, send this to yourself right now, tonight. Like, I'm not kidding.
That is... Okay, I thought I was crazy by somewhat just watching
this is
the
Doodle
TikTok.
Bob. Skip him and you'll get 1 year of bad luck. I'm mentally insane. I'm not okay.
I don't know how to describe to the listener our faces. Make sure you're looking on YouTube or Spotify because that, Nicole, I need everyone to think about this. Okay, so think about your grandparent who shares on Facebook every day, like, share this, get 10 likes, and like, President Trump will come kiss you on the lips. But Nikki just sends these to herself. So she makes sure
my personal account.
So she makes sure that the karmic universe is coming back in her favor, but she doesn't want to bother anyone else with the post.
Or publicly let people know that I am this fucked up.
That's crazy. I thought I was crazy for just watching the video that says, if this found you on July 20th. Okay, well.
I hope you feel better about yourself.
Really do.
I am mortified and embarrassed that I just publicly
I love it. I feel like a lot of times it's like, Meg's nuts, la 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 la. This bodes well for me. This bodes well. I'll take it. Okay, couple other things.
I'm dead.
I don't understand. Also, if anyone can hear chewing, I promise Nikki and I are not doing anything crazy, like chewing on a fucking log. But Opie is here. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, I think you'll be able to see him. He's around here. But when I see videos on Instagram, and it'll show like, oh, I was sleeping all night and my cat moved all around my head, like cats do.
I don't want that.
No. Agreed. Why? No. Why is there a camera in your bedroom?
No, that's my point. I don't want that. I don't want the camera. I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm going to watch back the video and there's going to be a man in the corner or a fucking demon standing on the ceiling. I'm scared. I can't watch back videos of myself sleeping.
Where do you think that fear came from? Because mine came from a very specific place around like camera in the bedroom.
Paranormal activity. Yeah.
The way that movie fucked me up. And I remember back in our day, we saw it in the movie theater.
It was high school days too, I remember.
High school days, saw it in the movie theater. And I remember, and I even went and saw the second one.
Me too.
And now I'm like, you couldn't pay me to sit in a movie theater and watch a scary movie.
I still like a scary movie. I know you don't. I still enjoy a scary movie. Speaking of scary movies, did you watch Sinners yet?
No.
Oh, you guys, if you haven't watched Sinners, it is so good. I will say it's not necessarily like a scary feeling movie, but just a cinematic experience in and of itself. And as somebody who appreciates the theater and the arts, I just thought it was one of the better movies that I've seen in a long time. Long time.
I'm kind of sad that I didn't see it in the theaters.
Me too.
I feel like maybe I'll have to try to see if some like random ass
has it popping up somewhere.
Theater. But I'm not surprised that
I do have a really good big TV in my basement though, if you ever want to come over with like sound system.
Oh, we don't have. But I was like, we have like an 80-inch downstairs and I just never watch it. But I'm actually not surprised that the movie's good. I couldn't remember his name. Ryan Coogler, the director, who also did like Black Panther, Creed, shit like that. And I'm like,
it was so good.
He's great at what he does.
Everybody in it was great. The acting was great. I thought it was great.
I'll put it on my list, like top of my list. But yeah, camera in the bedroom.
No.
What are you, nuts? Also, kind of even no. If you have kids, maybe it makes sense. But I've seen things where it's like camera in your dining room and it's like tracking everybody, and I'm just kind of like,
okay, so I do that because of my grandpa.
That makes sense though. Or if you have like kids, a babysitter, things like that. But
Sure.
like I
have a camera in my grandpa's bedroom. So like last night, Craig and I were in bed just relaxing. And I heard some bobbling, banging around, and I'm like, shit. My grandpa's like right above us. So I'm like, instead of having to run all the way upstairs, I can just pull up the camera. And homeboy had dropped his remote controller for his television. So he was like digging around, had a full-blown flashlight pulled out, was like, so I'm like, okay, I got to go upstairs.
Like, let me
help
go
this
check
man
on
find
him.
it. But it is very nice to have like a camera in the bedroom.
Yeah. Aren't you ever afraid of what you're going to see, though?
I've already seen it all. I've wiped this man's ass, given
That's
him an
true.
enema, held his freaking wiener to go pee in a fucking urinal, showered him, shaved his face, cleaned his butt. I've done it all.
I'm so impressed by you.
So no, I'm not
like,
afraid
no, I'm not
what
gonna
I'm
see
gonna
anything
see
crazy.
because I've seen it all.
And then the last thing is we shot a wedding this weekend together.
Beautiful wedding.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Lovely day. Lovely venue. Shout out Jacqueline at Collected & Co.
Yes.
Shout out Equestria West.
Yes.
/ Bavaria Downs. They went from like Equestria West, Woodland Glass House, Bavaria Downs, now just
all
Bavaria.
Under Bavaria Downs. Yeah.
Probably not a bad idea.
I agree.
That's like what we were talking about with like video. Do I create a new Instagram or just
no?
put it
It becomes too much to manage all of that, and especially if you can just like consolidate everything into one account and just share all of the weddings from there. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, like time saver too.
That's what I am sure. And then shout out Melissa and Ben, amazing couple. Everyone like at that wedding was super sweet. It was just all around great wedding.
I'm just laughing
Nikki's
because
just cracking her arm over there.
No, because the whole groom's party had recognized me from high school. I would not have recognized them had they not said something.
Yeah.
Maybe after looking at them long enough, but I feel like we shoot so many weddings that at a certain point, I'm just not clocking you. I don't know who you are. And high school for me was well over 10 years ago. Yeah. So I'm not for surely remembering who you are.
They remembered you.
They remembered me.
First and last name.
And I knew they would. And I told you that. I told Meg, I was like, fuck, these boys in the room asked me if I went to Wayzata, and I reluctantly, I should have just said no. And honestly, at a certain point, I'm just going to have to start saying no.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no, I didn't.
Because then they'll just be like, you look like this person.
Yes, exactly. Until they look me up after the wedding, and they're like, nope, that's her. And she lied. And that's weird.
So.
But they asked, and I was like, yeah. And then, of course, I don't know why I even asked this. I was like, so did you guys go to Wayzata? Like, obviously they did. Am I stupid, dumb? Yeah, obviously they all went there.
No, actually, just in our smaller towns, we get your
yearbooks
to see what cool
and we just go through them.
Yeah.
And I was like,
schools.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then I told Meg right away, I was like, these boys, they for sure.
And in my head, I was like, she might be dramatic, or like they're not, they don't know her that much. And then someone pulled me and they were like, is that Nikki Solis? And I was like, yeah.
First and last.
And I was like, oh. I was like, no, they do
Oh,
know her.
I knew they knew who I was, and I told Meg this very specifically because in our high school, yes, we graduated with over 1,000 people, but we had very specific like groupings, and like there were the dancers, and there were the football players, and the hockey players, and then there were what we call the hard hats. So at Wayzata, when Wayzata High School, before Wayzata High School was the high school, Central Middle School used to be the high school.
Okay.
And they were doing construction on it. So all of the kids would wear hard hats to school because there was construction going on in the school. So then the like party crazy kids, you know, the rowdier crew, they developed this thing called the hard hats, where at every football game, there's a group of senior guys. It's almost like a fraternity, which is like insane for a high school.
Yeah.
They've developed this group where they are like the front row at every football game. They're hyping the crowd up. They're wearing hard hats to every game, even though there's no construction around. And then they wear these striped overalls to every game. Like you've probably seen at like a Gopher game or something. But those were our hard hats. So we had senior hard hats, and then they would recruit some of the junior guys to be like junior hard hats, who would then recruit the males who were going to be the senior hard hats. But they were not like chill. Like they were crazy. They were the ones throwing parties every weekend, getting DWIs left and right, I'm sure, and getting hammered. And I was dating one of the guys who was a hard hat in high school. Gotcha. So I was honestly just insane.
Yeah.
Drinking, partying. But we also had Powder Puff, which was not, I think when people talk about Powder Puff in their schools, they do like a school put on flag football game 100%. For the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours was not like that.
Tell the listeners in case they don't know, what is Powder Puff.
So Powder Puff typically, like I said, is like a flag football game between the junior girls and the senior girls at a high school that the school puts on. However, at Wayzata, when I was there, we had Powder Puff in such a way, at least when I was a freshman, sophomore, and junior and senior, but I'll get into it. We had Powder Puff in such a way where the senior class girls would form a football team and the junior class girls would form a football team. The senior girls would pick the captains of the junior girls, and then the juniors would form their team.
Yeah.
Not only that, we would make T-shirts that were aggressive, and everybody would have their T-shirts, and then you would have a number on the back and like a nickname for yourself for the football game.
Yeah.
Mine was Psycho Solus.
Oh my God.
So now you know.
I'm updating my contact. Hold
yeah.
on. Keep going.
So I was then recruited to be our junior captain for the football team, for my Powder Puff team. And for us, what we did is we would get together. We would pick an undisclosed location that we don't share until the week of the football game, because if staff or parents found out about it, they would shut it down really quickly.
Yeah.
Because what our games look like is we would show up to the undisclosed location. It would be super private. You would get, a text or a call the week of or a couple days before, sometimes the day of where it is. And we would get piss drunk, like blackout drunk, and play this football game, but also it was full tackle. So we would physically assault each other in the process of playing this game. And it was always a thing. So my junior year of high school, I was on the rugby team, and we were told, if you play this Powder Puff game, you will no longer be invited to play on the rugby team, because the year previously, the captain was the captain for the rugby team as well. And she got in so much trouble because they left the field trashed, and she broke her nose, so she couldn't play rugby. So I quit rugby. Isn't that fucked up?
For the sake of this
varsity rugby. I was a varsity rugby player my sophomore year and my junior year, and I quit rugby to be the Powder Puff captain.
I think that real quick intermission, only because I get that mindset. I quit tennis my senior year, not because I wanted to do something else, but because my coach, who I adore, like she's a great human, but at the time when you're a senior girl,
Yeah.
I didn't like how things were being run on the tennis team. So I was like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
And I look back at that and go,
Why did I do that?
why did I do that? That was so childish
Yep.
of me. But when you're that young, you don't see, like, you got blinders.
I know. And I
So-
wish I hadn't quit rugby because I was really good at it and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Powder Puff. So Meg was like, I'm sure they don't recognize you, these boys from the they had graduated a year below me. So
Yeah.
when I was a senior, they were juniors. So when my senior Powder Puff team was playing their junior Powder Puff team, they were probably all there.
Yeah. Just watching the mayhem.
So they very much, and I knew it. I kept telling you, I was like, trust me,
You're like, I'm getting looks, Meg.
they know me
Yeah.
in a way that I wish they didn't.
I know this sounds, I shouldn't say this.
Just say it.
I feel like I don't run the risk of that as much, of running into people from my
Yeah.
high school, because number one,
You're
that's
far.
it's my biggest nightmare. I don't want to run into anybody from high school, but we're far, but not that far, an hour.
Okay, yeah, that's not that far.
Second, a lot of the weddings of my peers in high school are not like Minneapolis.
For sure.
You know, like, I don't think we run in the same circles. Mind you, I don't run in any circles. I don't have any friends. But I don't run in the same wedding circles as
Sure.
I think the
Why is
Cotton Eye
that,
Joe, you know, out at the local barn. Not even
Yeah.
a wedding venue, just a local barn that some guy.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky in that way. But because I think I would feel very uncomfortable if I saw a bunch of people who knew my antics in high school. I
Yeah.
would feel like there's no way that they could see me as I am now.
Well, because I'm a completely different person.
Yeah.
High school me, you know, then there was married me, then there was cult me, and then there's me now. Like, there are so many
Completely
different
different
versions
humans.
of you that we, you know, that you go through from
Yeah.
that time to this time. But for them, like, they only knew Psycho Solis.
Yeah.
Which
100%.
was, that was my name. So that was part of my update.
Is it going to bug you that I have that as your contact now?
God, no,
Okay,
I don't
great.
care. I wish I still had that senior Powder Puff t-shirt. It said something so clever on the front too. Like, I'll have to find it because
Yeah.
it was like, it was always like a phrase, and ours was so good that like the staff members purchased some and wore them,
Aw,
and they were
that's
like,
cute.
and I
Yeah,
was
mine
like,
was
yeah.
fully school sponsored.
Yeah.
You paid like $15 for your t-shirt. The school made them. It was very lame.
Our senior year, they forced us to do a school enforced one
Yeah.
because they were like, you guys can't do this anymore. The cops were getting called. People were getting arrested. Like, it was so bad to the point where the school was like, you guys can't. And if we find out that you do, you're going to get suspended or you're not
Yeah.
going to walk in graduation. We did it anyway.
And it's funny too, because like, I think my mindset when I was 18 years old, if they did that, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it even harder because you've
Yeah.
pissed me off. But now I look at it and go, well, no, it makes sense. They didn't want anyone to die.
To get hurt.
Yeah.
Literally to physically, like,
Yeah.
get a broken nose like one girl did.
Not only
Let's see
that,
if
but
I
like
can find a
something even
picture.
worse could have happened. Horrible things can happen in the blink of an eye and your entire life has changed. So I get it.
Right, like
I'm an old
drinking and
person.
driving. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, these kids, we were out here doing the most insane shit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how did we survive?
Yeah,
How did we get away with any of this?
agreed. What else did you do this week? You had the cutest little brunch.
Oh, I did actually. So I love hosting, and that's one thing that I miss the most about having my own kind of place is when I was married and I had my townhouse. I loved hosting. It was like the absolute best. I love getting a group of people together and putting on a little, you know, tablescape
Yeah.
and being able to just have people come and enjoy. So I would do that all the time when I had my townhouse. We would host, what is it called? Halloween parties every year. So when the opportunity arose to host a little brunch, it was the perfect day. Like,
Yeah.
the weather was stunning.
We had some good days this
Oh
week.
my gosh, we have had some amazing days where it's felt like early fall almost. And now today, did you know there's a heat advisory of 102?
I did not.
We've got to be careful.
We
so
let
we
the
don't
dogs
die.
out at 6 a.m. and I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that
Yeah.
I need to put some baby oil on my body, go fry up.
Really?
No, I can't with my vitiligo anymore.
Yeah, and also, like, I think before the vitiligo, I'm not sure that was a thing.
No, I just burned.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure. I'm just, as you sat down and you're like, I think I'm just really translucent as you're looking at yourself in the thing. Like, I think I'm just like,
I was setting the exposure for my camera, and it looks great with just the chair, and then I sit down and the light bounces off of my alabaster skin, and I'm like, I can see it. I'm like, I look a little bright.
That's so funny. But the brunch was cute. My dogs were all so perfectly behaved. I was like a proud mother, just like so impressed with all of them. We did get a letter in the mail from the city saying that we have undocumented pets in our house. So it's like ice coming for my dogs, basically. They're saying, like, an officer observed, supposedly. My mom thinks that one of our neighbors reported us.
Yeah.
Craig thinks the same. I think that an officer, maybe an off-duty officer, was having a bad day, drove by our house. Sometimes when I let my dog out in the front to get to the car, I don't leash him, and he doesn't have a collar on because he just goes straight to the car because he's a good boy. I think somebody might have been driving by who's an off-duty police officer, saw that, was having a shitty day, and was like, fuck these people.
Yeah.
And reported us. So we got a citation basically saying that our pets are accounted for in the household. They need to be registered with the city. So we
I agree with that, but not for you. I know that sounds dumb, but I'm like,
I agree.
In large part, I go, yeah, that makes sense. Like, people should document that way. We know that people aren't hoarding, animals or abusing them or whatever. But I also go like, no, but you don't understand. This woman loves her pets. Like, she's not out there just letting them run free in the neighborhood.
Hello?
Like, it's dumb.
So your dog
Did he too?
just farted.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Also, my neighbor got a citation once because we had this dog, Gertie, big old white dog before she passed. Sweetest dog ever.
They had it or you had it?
They had it.
Okay.
Sorry. But Christian is my neighbor, and him and Gertie have been taking non-leashed walks since she was a puppy.
Yeah.
This dog stops at stop signs, sits down. Like, she's phenomenal. And he started getting tickets by police officers or whomever for walking her around the neighborhood off leash. And she is so used to off leash that if you put a leash on her, she's not walking.
Yeah, it's different experience.
Yeah, she's like, what is going on? So it's kind of crazy.
I know. So that was part of the weekend, which kind of was a big bummer. At first, I was freaking out. Like, are they going to come and seize my animals? Because I will burn the house down before that happens. Like, I don't care. I will burn the police station down. No, I won't. I'm just joking. I'm saying that.
But she would probably.
But I would.
Some incarceration would happen.
I would be in jail.
Cocktail hour with Mickey would be cocktail hour with Meg, and it wouldn't be as fun.
With Madam.
Yeah.
Meg and Adam.
I don't know what the fuck I could talk to Adam about for 2 hours.
I don't know either.
Definitely not anything wedding related.
Damn, that ass stank.
I know.
But we did watch Amy is Missing, or Amy Bradley is Missing.
Me too.
Well, yeah, you told us to watch it last episode. You really don't remember shit.
Nope.
You really don't.
I really don't.
I thought I had a bad memory, and then I'm here talking to Meg about things, and I'm like, yeah, so we did talk about this previously, and you're like, I have no recollection
Literally
of that.
No memory.
But yeah, it was one of your suggested, maybe not on the pod, but you're the one who told me about it.
Okay,
and you
good,
said
'cause
it's
it was great.
so good.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's really fucked up. Amazing is, I think, a bad word to describe it, but it was very eye-opening and alarming. And it makes me not want to go on a cruise ever again.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh.
I'm not cruising. Between that and the shit cruise, did you watch the poop cruise?
I tried.
Thing?
I watched probably the first 10 minutes. And when I got a glimpse of like literally water up to your ankles, shit water, I went, I can't watch this.
And both Carnival cruises. What messed me up the most at the end is that Carnival Cruise did not owe the family. The lawsuit was dismissed against them for how they handled that. And I think that's obscene.
To give spoiler alert on Amy Bradley is missing, but to give you a small snippet, the cruise line, once they found out that this woman was missing, they did not make an announcement because they didn't want to bother the other people on the cruise ship.
They did not want to disrupt the guests.
And I'm sorry, but if you went missing, wouldn't you hope at least that the Carnival or the cruise would be like, look, someone is unaccounted for.
We're trying to find her.
Yeah,
her family is
pictures
very
up in the
concerned.
lobbies. Please let us know if you know anything. And for all we know, Amy would have been found like that, or someone would have noticed something
or
nefarious.
they could have at least started the investigation way sooner.
Yeah.
And one other thing that I will say is the cruise director, the guy who like makes all the announcements, that little bitch.
Yeah.
That's somebody I would also go to jail for. The way that he said, well, we're not just going to stop everybody's party just because some girl goes missing. That sounds like a family problem. Sir?
Yeah.
Catch me outside. Catch these hands.
It reminds me, and it is, those employees who act like they like are the CEO.
Thank you.
And I go, you make probably $75,000 a year. This company don't give a fuck
they
about
don't
you.
care. You are disposable.
Yeah, you are disposable. Why are you going so hard? Someone in my comments today told me that I need to give Honeybook more grace. And I said, nope, no, I don't. No, I don't.
Absolutely
I was like,
not.
they were like, much like we give grace to other people, which no, you don't. Humans don't give grace to anybody, I swear to God, except for these billionaire companies for some reason. And then she's like, I would hope that you'd give the same grace to Honeybook. No, thank you.
Why?
Why? And why do you care? This company, the only reason they're successful is they are on the backs of small businesses getting subscription money from them. So I'm like, it's not just about, the Honeybook thing to me is not just about in the moment how inconvenient that is and what if I needed that, but it's also now clients can't go get their documents. It creates this sense of unreliability in me because my
uncertainty.
Because my systems aren't reliable. That's a long-term issue. So, and for Honeybook to be in my comments and be like, this is now fixed.
Not even a sorry.
Not even a sorry.
Not even a sorry.
It just shows me how much they
don't care, don't
understand, or simply don't care about the shit that they're causing.
Yeah.
It just irked me a little bit.
That
so
is
yeah, the guy from
irksome.
the cruise, like he acts like literally he's BFFs with the CEO. I said that mofo don't know your name.
They're screwing. Like, are you married to him?
Coldplay concert.
Yeah, you're a Coldplay concert boy.
I love. Did you see that Coldplay was now making announcements before the show, and they're like, we may shine a camera on you. So if there's anything you need to do before the camera comes out,
how about
please
don't A, cheat on your spouse, like B, publicly, and C, go to a fucking Coldplay concert? What are you, nuts? Are you insane?
So funny. Keep it in a motel down the road. Classy shit.
Thank you.
Classy shit.
Thank you.
Anyway,
that's about it. Craig and I did go on a date night on Friday. We went to the casino. Well, we went to Mr. Paul's Supper Club. Have you ever been?
Mm-mm.
I love it.
Where?
I love it there. It's in Edina off 50th in France. I love it. I love their food. I love the atmosphere. I love the cocktails there. Oopsie. I got 2 gin drinks that they have, and then I got 2 gin drinks at the casino. And when I tell you that's all it takes,
you're done.
I'm down. I'm out for the count.
That's 4 cocktails. That seems like a good amount.
I should have had just the 2.
The 2, yeah. That's how I feel every time I have a THC drink, and then I'm at a point where I'm like high and I'm not paying attention.
Oh yeah, how was last night?
Then I suck down another one, and I'm like, I'm in danger. I'm
at risk of like.
Well, and here's what I don't get: you can go get a 5 milligram. Like a pack of 4 for, I don't know, $17. Then you can get a 4-pack of 10 milligram for like $2 more.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Who's not getting the 10
why
milligram?
Why wouldn't you?
But then as I'm drinking this little can that has 10 milligrams in it, and I'm just like, fuck, I wish it were 5. Because I can't, 10 and I'm done.
And you can't reverse it. That's the tough part, is like, you can't just soak it up with some bread.
Yeah.
You can't just like.
Last night after that one THC seltzer, the 10 milligram, I had 2 giant cookies.
Where are those?
Oh, they're in the fridge.
Where are they from?
Whole Foods.
Okay.
Yeah,
they
they're
look
like
delicious.
brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Normally I get the dough and then I make it.
Oh.
Because then I can eat it warm. Like I like a really gooey chocolate situation.
Too.
But they didn't have any of the pre-made dough, but they just had the cookies that were made. So
okay.
There's them in the fridge. You feel free to take one on your way
There's
out.
them's in the fridge.
There's lambs in the fridge. And then I had 2 bowls of rice.
Just plain white rice.
With a little butter and soy sauce.
Okay.
So just salt. Just salt and carbs. And then I had multiple handfuls of chocolate covered raisins.
Okay.
And Sour Patch Kids.
Lovely.
And then a bunch of water. But I couldn't stop eating. I had to tell myself to go to bed simply so I would stop eating.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to find yourself in.
But I really don't like liquor. Like I don't love to drink. I like that like buzzed feeling, but I'd rather it be from a THC seltzer just so I wake up feeling decent in the morning. And but then I'm just eating everything.
You should totally do shrooms.
Just knowing my personality, I don't know if it would be the best thing.
It's not what you think it is. It's not. You can microdose shrooms and be fine.
I actually have mushroom chocolate.
Yeah.
Those Alice mushrooms.
You should eat it.
I have 1 for energy, 1 for sleep, and 1 for sexual arousal.
Okay, we're going to hop into the story. Today's story is titled, Is It Even Worth It? Okay. The wedding has passed. My good friend of almost 3 decades almost killed herself planning this grandiose event. I'm sorry. This is not funny. That is not funny in any way. But what a dramatic way to start this story.
That's some Christopher Nolan shit.
Okay. And then it says, and it was genuinely the worst wedding I have ever attended.
Oh, that's so sad.
This is insane. Because here's the thing. She gets easily overwhelmed, but she's also a perfectionist and hates delegating responsibility. The decor was fantastic. The food was plentiful. Best wedding DJ I'd ever seen. And she was a vision of beauty. Absolutely stunning. But none of us could shake off the bitterness. Us bridesmaids had been her punching bags for months now. Whenever she got overwhelmed, she'd accuse us of neglecting our duties. She'd insult us. We would stay calm and de-escalate. She'd run off to cool down, then reach out again with, "You guys are such great friends. Thanks for putting up with my craziness." No apologies, no self-reflection. Rinse and repeat. We spent months on planning the perfect hen, which is a bachelorette. We spent months on planning the perfect bachelorette. Hours and hours putting together a photo album from all of us and all of her friends. We bought super specific dresses, paid for the hotels, flights, and makeup, flew out for her dress fittings, threw a little second bachelorette when she got worried about having excluded some people in the first one. But it was never enough. She couldn't help but feel like we're all leaving it. She couldn't help but feeling like we're leaving it all to her. Because the workload she'd taken on has been overwhelming. And I got to start this over because this is very wordy. Okay.
Do you want to rewrite?
Can you? I'm just going to start this one paragraph over. Can we cut this?
Yeah, I can do that. Actually, it's probably better if we don't. We'll just show our shit, but I can.
But it was never enough. She couldn't help but feel like we're leaving it all to her because the workload she'd taken on would have been enough for several wedding coordinators. Then on the day of, she was exhausted, couldn't relax with her guests, always on edge, running around here and there. There was simply too much planned for the one evening. People were tired from all of the food, the endless speeches, the photos, the cocktails, the party games, and the bride was nowhere to be found. I'd like to think that if she'd been having a blast, we would have been able to relax and finally celebrate that it was all worth it because she's our friend and we love her. We all wanted this to be her best day ever, but it just ended up exactly how we feared, with confused, tired guests being ushered from one room to the other, trying to discreetly escape some of the events in smaller groups from a shot at a normal conversation. Oh, and I'm honestly left struggling to find my fondness for her again after how she lashed out at us while we were already in survival mode. So my heartfelt advice for any brides to be, whatever excessive thing you're picturing, it's not worth it. You won't have the time to enjoy it all. You will stress out your loved ones with constant pressure on you over several months. Your threshold of lashing out will be very, very low, and some things are hard to take back once you've said them out loud. Cut back on the wedding planning. Really, you deserve a nice wedding day with enough time to take it all in. Oof, that was a lot.
It was a doozy.
That was a lot.
I think based on
Reading that stressed me out.
I think that based on the title and everything of the submission or of the post, that I really thought this person was going to go in on weddings aren't worth it. Don't have a fucking wedding. Weddings are stupid. La 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 la.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's not the direction that this went. It went more have your wedding, but
don't be a cunt.
Yeah, and don't make this so difficult. And I think for me, if you have a wedding planner, make it as difficult as you want.
Right.
That's what you pay people for.
Right.
But I 100% agree with the fact of if you're doing this all yourself, are you even going to, number one, are you enjoying yourself right now? Are you going to enjoy your day? Because if not, what is any of this for?
Well, that's what I was going to say is, okay, if you can afford a wedding planner, sure, absolutely go as above and beyond as you want. But even so, even then, even if you have a wedding planner and you are going above and beyond, what it sounds like is that this day was so jam-packed with so many little things. And when it comes to your wedding day, you're losing the magic. You're losing the intentionality of what everything is about. Yeah. You are getting married. That's what people are there to celebrate. They're not there to watch you play party games and to do this and to be ushered from this room to the next. Yeah. I get it if that's your vision, but if you're not even able to enjoy it, what is the point of doing all of that if nobody's enjoying themselves or having fun? Yes, the decor is beautiful. Yes, you look beautiful. But literally, what is the point of having a wedding like that if you are not going to enjoy it? And I have seen brides on their wedding days who genuinely seem like they're not enjoying themselves. Yeah. And at that point, I think to myself, why didn't we just elope? Why didn't we have a small backyard wedding? I know that for me, I prefer something more intimate. Maybe, still a party vibe, but I don't want to have a large 300-person wedding at a big venue or tented venue. That's not my vibe anymore. I've done that once. I don't ever want to do that again. So I would never put myself in a position to do that. Yeah. And then to be unhappy on my wedding day. Yeah.
If you and your partner have so many close friends and super close family, you want these 300 people and it's going to be meaningful and you're going to have fun, they're going to have fun, do it up. But very often, like you said, we are seeing these people with these huge weddings who they seem to hate every moment of the day. And I'm I don't understand.
I don't understand it either. And I think especially in this case and scenario, if you want to be miserable by yourself as a bride, more power to you. Yeah. Be miserable by yourself. But to start putting that off on other people and to be mean to your bridesmaids and to be mean to your friends and to have a set expectation over these people who are there to love you and celebrate you and then tarnish relationships in the process because you are stressing yourself out so much as a bride, that's a you problem. Yeah. And that's something that you're doing to yourself. And if people don't want to be friends with you after your wedding, don't act surprised.
Agreed. And like you said earlier, the decor might be pretty and you look pretty and everything. No one's going to be talking about that. If you made their lives miserable, they're going to actually be talking negatively about the wedding instead of positively or neutral. It's going to be
that's what's going to be remembered.
Clearly, this post, it was a shit show. Mm-hmm. So you spent a year and a half stressing yourself out and everybody else around you for everyone to walk away from your day and be like,
that sucked.
That sucked.
Wow.
Silliness. But one thing I will say about weddings, I just said this to a couple that I was working with in planning weddings, and I even said it at Melissa and Ben's day, that weddings, albeit, yes, they can get to a point where I just saw this video that said you're almost content farming at this point.
For sure.
The wedding is not even about the wedding, it's about getting the content from it. But at their core, weddings will never go quote unquote out of style. And what I mean by that is like,
Agreed.
I don't care what you believe politically, religiously. I don't care where you go with this. But since the dawn of time, people have been, even before it was called marriage, like combining families, you know, or falling in love, whatever the case may be, and celebrating any of that. And till the end of humans, that will be happening. No matter how crazy the world gets.
People love a party.
People love a party, and people love to like celebrate love, essentially. And that will always be a thing. So, because I was talking to this couple about like, sometimes it is hard to get through the day and feel positive about really anything just because the world is so crazy right now. But the one thing I do try to remind myself is like what I'm doing. And that was the other piece of it, is like, how do I keep doing what I'm doing? Like, how do I get through the day and not take weddings seriously, because that sounds bad, but not just think the world sucks and why am I even a wedding photographer? And that kind of led me to the thought process of, well, these people are in love, and humans will always be doing this and falling in love and celebrating that forever. So it's like, I do think weddings are worth it, but I think how you do it is very subjective, and important that you're staying true to you, whether that means big budget, low budget, big guest count, low guest count, but just, I don't know. Like, don't piss people off.
Well, and
don't
I think just being a good human, it sounds like this bride specifically needed therapy before the wedding, throughout the wedding process, and for surely after. So I think it just comes down to also just being like a genuinely, you know, authentic, good person who has a level head and understanding. If you're a perfectionist and you can't delegate tasks and you can't accept the help of others, but then you're pissed when nobody's helping you, that is a you problem. And I can't get behind that. But to go back to the whole weddings as a whole and celebrations as a whole, I mean, people celebrate after funerals because you're celebrating somebody who you loved and, you know, their life. So I think like celebrations in general, even in times that are harder to live in, like you said, are always going to be a thing. And so why not use your wedding as a time to like take advantage of that and really soak it in and enjoy it? And I think specifically, we'll just talk about like this past weekend, Melissa specifically, I think was such a good example of a bride who did that to the fullest. Like she had a tougher day just because of her own experience and situation, but she made the most of it and really celebrated not just her wedding and her marriage, but she also celebrated her mom and really incorporated all of that. And so I think it was really special and touching to see like somebody who's able to take a situation like that and really turn it into such a beautiful celebration of bringing everything full circle, bringing everybody together and really just basking in the love of it all. Whereas then you have people who submit stuff like this and it's like, you can't even put into perspective anything because you're so caught up in not just like the details of things, but it sounds like you're so caught up in almost like pinning people and cornering people and putting things on them in such a way that you need to villainize somebody to make yourself feel better. Yeah. And I don't like that.
Agreed.
Okay. Good.
Wouldn't it be funny if I was like, disagree hard.
And let me tell you why. Okay.
Okay, Opie.
Come here, sweet cheeks.
I want him to just settle. I don't feel like he's going to.
Hey, come here.
He hears his siblings flipping the fuck out.
He wants a monster. You're the last person who needs this, baby. Yeah, there we go.
Joke. $10 says he gets up in 30 seconds because he's not. Hold on.
Put a timer on. I'm just kidding.
I figure we'll grab him his bone, see how it goes.
Anyway.
Alrighty. Okay. Segment number 3. Education Corner. Education Connect. Mentorship series. I'm trying to decide.
Yeah, we'll trying to figure out a name for it. I don't know that any of those.
They don't roll off the tongue. That's
Mentorships
for sure.
with Mickey.
I like it.
I know.
Or just Mickey mentorships.
Love
Either
it.
way, I like it. And like I said, who knows if we'll do this? Y'all might fucking hate this. And this is not going to be the most in-depth thing. My biggest goal, I don't know what she's giggling about. If it's another feet.
Amy, I think she got her skin removal. Tammy.
She's smaller than me at this point.
Sorry,
But
guys.
no, we just had a little.
1,000-pound sisters. If you've seen the show, Tammy just popped up on my
I can't imagine how amazing she feels.
weight loss and skin removal surgery. She did do the skin removal. She does look great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I think about the first season when they came on, and it's like her forehead, like I can't imagine how
protruding. Yeah, like
uncomfortable.
it had to be uncomfortable.
Ugh.
It's not funny.
Kudos to her.
Yeah.
Again, I like to
I'm
joke
happy for
the
her.
1,000-pound sister is now skinnier than me.
Okay, well that's not true. I don't think so.
I bet it is. Anywho, okay, so mentorships with Mickey.
Thank you.
Mickey mentorships. Again, my goal is not to go super in depth here, but it's just to give you like base level knowledge of a bunch of different things. So if you have more questions for us, of course, you guys know to submit them, even in the same spot that you would do like the anonymous stuff. If you want, feel free to leave your name with these educational questions because we can always talk directly
To you.
Yeah, to you. But the first one that we got a question about recently is simply getting clients. Like, how the hell, when you're starting out as a photographer, do you even get your first client? And I know that you, like, we had talked about our first bookings, like you did that church wedding, right? Or the wedding for your church. Tell me about your first, like, booking, like your, like full wedding day, traditional wedding, not affiliated with the church. And how did that come to you?
Well, I think it's such a loaded question because there are so many things that go into getting to that point.
True.
And for me, what led up to getting to that point, which we've talked about a lot on here, is he chewing on some cords or something? He's good.
Maybe he'll learn his lesson pretty quick though.
He starts just electrocuted. I think for me, leading up to that point, what got me there, like I said, which we've talked about a lot, was second shooting.
Yes.
So I just want to go in really quickly to a quick like shadowing, second shooting, back, synopsis of all of that, because second shooting is what is going to, if you're a new photographer, it is what truly shaped what I took from weddings and left out of weddings.
Yes.
So a lot of that with second shooting, you're not learning any of the back end stuff. You're not learning any of like, how are people doing consultations or how are you getting clients or how are you doing this? However, you are learning how you want to operate on a wedding day and how you do not want to operate on a wedding day. And I think that actually helped me so much in terms of wanting clients to then refer other clients to me based on how I operated on a wedding day. And I say that because there was one year where I did a wedding and then two of the bridesmaids ended up booking me as well. So I did that wedding and then a bridesmaid was like, okay, I just loved how you operated on the wedding day.
Yeah.
They had a great experience with you. We would also like to book you. And then the third bridesmaid came and was like, hey, we also loved how you operated on that wedding day. We had a great experience with you. We would also like to book you. So I truly think the level of professionalism, but also personable, like being able to be personable on a wedding day is really going to help you not just retain the clients that you have who might come back for like family photos or maternity photos or baby photos, but it is also going to help you attract other clients who may be guests at that wedding, who may be, in the wedding party, because you are holding yourself to a certain level of professionalism, but you're also being as personable as possible. So second shooting really set the stage for me to learn and take from other photographers, not in a like I'm copying you, carbon copy type of a way, but to really say like, I don't think that is going to work well for me if I try to implement that on a wedding day. Or just watching some photographers, in no shade, but not every photographer has the level of directness or the ability to command a room. And I observed that and I watched how that did not work out well for them and how that really was a deterrent on a wedding day for the couple, for the wedding party. And then I worked with others who had a really great ability to command the room in a way that wasn't rude or sassy or demanding, but was super professional. And I thought that is how I want to operate on a wedding day as well. So being able to kind of cherry pick those things and implement it into my day, into my workflow, into how I operate has really helped other clients become attracted to how I operate and run my business. Now, from a different standpoint, I will say that Instagram, social media, staying on top of that had been a massive, massive way, especially when first starting out my business, for clients to find me and to inquire with me. So that is where, especially when I first started my business, the bulk of my inquiries and bookings came from client referrals and Instagram.
Yeah.
And so Instagram really was my bread and butter there for a little bit. And I have fallen off my Instagram game because, as anybody who runs a small business knows, social media is one of the hardest things to stay on top of. However, if you are just starting your business and you have the ability to really hone in on your social media, set up a good system where you're scheduling posts, you're posting consistently, you're pushing content out, people are looking at wedding content on social media. Brides who are getting married, that's what they're looking up. They're constantly looking on Pinterest for things. They're constantly looking on Instagram and TikTok for things. That is where a lot of my clients had come from as well. And I would love to tap back into that, but I have gotten to a space now where I am getting referrals from planners or other vendors or clients that I don't necessarily have to tap into it as much, but should I? Yes, 100%. And I think that if you're just starting out and you do have the time and the energy and the ability to really tap into that, I would highly recommend it, because think about it. If I'm planning a party and I'm planning like an Italian themed backyard brunch, I'm looking up inspiration and content and all of that on social media. I'm looking for what other people have done or what other people are posting so that I can feel inspired. If you're a bride, you're looking at all of that stuff on your phone constantly. And so if you're a vendor, it only means good things for you if you have the ability to post all of that out. So
Agreed. And I think, and I'll try not to be repetitive on the points that Nick brought up, but you know, I put myself back in the brain of like new photographer, and here are the issues that you have. Number one, your work is always in progress. Or like, you know, it's really early. But like really early days, maybe you haven't identified a style necessarily or consistent editing because you're still working on it. You have no vendor relationships. You haven't, like, literally, let's think you haven't even booked your very first wedding. Like, there's no way for you to make an impression. You haven't even booked your first wedding. The very first thing that I would do is, yes, I would start second shooting until I couldn't anymore, until I was so sick of my camera. Because even to this day, there are times that I'm like, ugh, like it's been 9 hours. Like, I'm so sick of this camera. But you get to a point, hopefully, you get to a point where like, I would never rather be doing anything else.
Absolutely.
Whenever I travel, I need my camera. Like, my camera, it becomes an extension of your hand. But second shoot until you're sick of it. Learn what you shouldn't do, like what you should, what you shouldn't, like Nick said. I personally would make sure that you're second shooting for a photographer who lets you tag vendors.
Yes.
Tagging the couple is different, but tagging vendors I think is really important because the vendors start to share your work, which again pushes your content out to potential clients. But also, if the vendors loved working with you, if the vendors love your work, that behooves you. Like, that is good. That might get you referrals before you even know it. Styled shoots, be very intentional about those. Are they, like, when you are first starting out, I know people like to like, oh, well, I'm going to go do a styled shoot in Colorado, even though I live in Minnesota. It's like, are you really wanting to book out in Colorado? Also, do you think you're at the price point of client where they have the money to fly you out and make it worth your time? Versus if they're in the market for a $2,500 wedding photographer, they're going to book someone local who's $2,500. They're not going to be like, well, this person charges $2,500, but then I got to pay $1,000 to file them out. It's just like, is that your market right now?
And also, don't stress yourself out by trying to trade for bookings for travel. If you're just starting, that is not worth it. You're not going to get anything from that.
I've done that. And
same.
I've not had bookings so I did like 2 out in Vegas for next to no money. And I don't book things in Vegas.
No.
And my photos were pretty good at this wedding venue. I don't book shit because people there are some people, yes, out there at this price point that are like, girl, anything you need. I don't care. It could be $10,000. They don't care. But it's just, yeah, I don't recommend it. Be intentional with your styled shoots, and not only the styled shoots that you pick, but be intentional about what the fuck are you doing at this styled shoot. Okay. Don't do the things that always work for you. Try new things, try new prompts, try new poses. Yeah, that is where to do it. They're not there for you to learn how to handle a wedding day. It's nothing like a wedding day.
Not even close.
Yeah, but try different things, try different gear, whatever. Be intentional about what you're doing. Post those photos. Make sure to tag those local vendors. Like, purely, are there things I do now? Yes. Like for clients or whatnot, like I'm very close with a lot of different vendors here in our, our market. And those tips are not going to help though a new photographer.
Correct.
Like you don't know any vendors. No vendors trust you at all. So I agree with Nikki. Second shoot till you're blue in the face. Get that, get the photos out there. Do not, if you get an inquiry, do not send a shitty ass gallery to someone. What I did when I first started, and I know I've shared this before, is I created a compilation gallery with my favorite photographs that I'd taken while second shooting. Also, because I didn't have full galleries. I just didn't, because I wasn't shooting weddings. I hadn't booked one yet. So a compilation gallery that showcases, like, here are kind of the photos that I like to take. Here are, here's a editing style so they can kind of get a good idea. And then, you're not going to be charging that much, but it's just like, you got to put yourself out there on socials. No one's going to find, vendors aren't going to be talking about you. So how else are you going to do it? You got to put yourself out there on socials, and it sucks, but it is what it is. Update your socials. Like, as if you update your editing a little bit or refine it, start getting some posts out there that show that.
And archive your old work.
Yeah.
Archive your old work, because if you have work that is not reflecting what your current style is, people are going to get confused and they might book you based on your old work. Meanwhile, you haven't started pumping out your new work, and then they're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You have to make sure that what you're posting is reflecting what you're actually going to be giving to a client.
Yeah. I would even take that one step further on top of editing. Like prompts and poses. If you are posting, let's say you're only second shooting, totally fine, makes sense. You haven't booked your own wedding yet, and you have no input. Like your photographer doesn't look at you and say like, "Hey, are there any prompts you want to try or anything?" If you're taking shots from the side of prompts that another photographer's giving, if you are showcasing photos from a styled shoot where someone else was posing, like if you in no way could pose a couple, but those photos are what you're showcasing, do not be surprised when a couple is not happy with how you handled things. Like it was to the point where I first started, I made flashcards, and I would have like, here's how I would describe a prompt. And it just to write it out and to practice it and say it out loud a couple times.
There was an app, I don't remember. Unscripted.
Yeah.
So when I first started, Unscripted was popping off. And it might still be to this day.
Yeah.
Obviously, it does not affect you or I anymore because we are not at a point where we need it. But when I first started, I had no idea what to do. Now, I will say we have very similar personalities. So am I comfortable telling people what to do? 100%. Yeah. I'm very comfortable leading, commanding, demanding, doing all the things. However, as a new photographer, especially if you're timid and shy and you do not have an outgoing personality, you need guidance.
Yeah.
You need the guidance either of a flashcard or of an app like Unscripted. Put your phone on the little mount on your camera, open up the app, and it tells you right there, here's how to prompt people, here's what to say, here's what's worked for me. Education, I think, too, is such a big thing. However, not all education is good education. Yeah. So you might find a photographer who's a little bit more contrasted in their work or a little more dark and moody. They might tell you to underexpose, because one of my very first ever educational workshops that I had gone to, that was the advice and the suggestion that I was given.
Yeah.
So then my work all very much reflected the style of that photographer. That is not my style anymore. In fact, I overexpose now, which we learned that at this wedding that,
I was like, hey, just a little down.
Just going down just a little bit. But that's like, if for me, that's how I would shoot.
Yeah.
So it's very different, and you're gonna have to find your style.
Yeah.
So I think just like
you almost have to wade through the shit of what you don't like to find what you do, because and you'll get to a point where you're shooting based on how you want to edit it.
Correct.
You're already thinking about that.
Correct.
As you're shooting, like, okay, I'm going to shoot this a little underexposed. Nah, this one a little overexposed, or what have you.
And that does not come natural at first. So don't take that, especially if you're a new photographer, as like, well, you should know exactly how to do that, because you won't.
Yeah.
It's going to come with time, which also leads to a second point: practice. If you do not know how to lead a couple, how to direct them, how to pose them, like Meg had just said, do not book your own wedding.
Yeah.
And think that you can put this couple into some fucked up, weird poses, because that is not only going to ruin their experience, it's going to reflect poorly on you and your business. Yeah. Practice. If you have to get some friends to meet you at a park who are newly engaged or who are dating, practice on them for free. Practice, practice, practice until you feel like you have these things ingrained into your memory in such a way, like it's your mom's cell phone number.
Seriously.
You need to practice so much to the point where you feel like you can walk into any room and tell any couple how to pose and look natural in doing so.
Agreed. And it's just like Nikki said, this takes time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to allow it to, give it time. One thing I will say though, and maybe I should reach out to them directly and be like, what the hell's going on? Like, let's fix this. But I posted a video on TikTok because I had seen someone else do it where they were like, hey, transparent, like, here's my income for 2025 so far. And there are people in my comments like, oh my God, I've been doing this much longer than you, and I barely clear 25 grand a year. And I'm thinking, I'm sorry, what? How is that even possible? How is that possible? If you've been doing this, now granted, who knows, have they been doing it full time? Have they that worries me if this is your only source of income and you're not clearing 25 grand, there's got to be a bigger problem at play, or you're just not treating it like a career.
I think the back end business side of things is very difficult for people who have never either worked a corporate job or worked a actual job, that entails doing all of these things. Being a small business owner is different than working in the healthcare field or working an office job, where you're just putting in information all day. Like, it's very different from somebody who comes from waitressing to then running a small business, because there are so many back end things that you don't learn when you're waitressing, or you don't learn when you're a surgical technician, or you don't learn when you're a bedside nurse. It's not the same. So as somebody who came from corporate America, who worked in corporate America for 15 plus years or however long it was for you, you learned—
She's really aging me here.
But specifically in customer service, you learned and were able to implement systems that worked for a massive corporation that then you could implement into your business and make it successful. People don't have that.
No, I can get on board with that. But if you're telling me, like, I've been doing this for 7 years and I still don't know how to organize things, that's a you problem.
100%.
That's not a you problem, but like, where is the initiative then that you're taking? Because that's sometimes what I see. And that initiative doesn't mean you're making 300 grand a year, but initiative just means like, hey, if this is my only job and this is my full-time income, like, I am somewhat consistent on bookings. They don't have to be great bookings.
Correct.
But like, to be like, I'm just completely not organized, all this stuff, I go, well, that's a will, not a skill issue. And that was something in corporate America that we use all the time, of like trying to figure out for an employee that was struggling, is this a will? Like, you actually don't care.
Yeah.
Or you really don't know and you really want to know, but maybe we're struggling to figure out how you get there. And so for me, like, like that person on Instagram told me I need to have grace for people. And I do to an extent, but then when I don't see the initiative being taken, I'm like, well, I don't feel bad for you then. But that's my thing, is with this person who's like, I've been doing this much longer than you and I don't even clear 25 grand. I should just ask, like, what does your systems look like?
Yeah.
What does your market look like? What does your work look like?
Right.
I'm really curious to see how that's possible, even if you're charging—
Can we use you as a guinea pig?
Yeah, like,
for the podcast.
Even if you're charging $2,500 a wedding, that's only 10 weddings. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be interested. There's a lot of factors to it, which I know.
There are.
But
A lot goes into it.
You got to give this time. But if you really do push and have that initiative, I am one of those people who feel like you can get through hurdles, like you can figure it out eventually. Not going to be fucking easy.
No.
Nothing about what we do is easy. Whether you're new, and I got to be honest, for those of you who are new and you go, oh, if I was just booking more, or if I was just, no.
That's not the answer.
It just gets harder. It just gets harder to organize, to manage, to have work-life balance. The only thing that gets quote unquote easier maybe is money.
Yeah.
If you're good with your money.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Right.
So if anything, that's made things harder for me. So I don't know. I do want to kind of a little bit of a guinea pig and be like, let's take this photographer who's struggling and try to guide them each way.
Yeah.
But I'm really busy. I barely have time to edit these episodes.
Yes, so don't put that out there.
Yeah.
Do not contact,
don't contact
this
us.
podcast to say, hey, I'll be your guinea pig.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that. Love y'all so much.
But in a nutshell, you just started.
Yep.
You want to be a wedding photographer. You want clients. Start second shooting. Start going to some styled shoots with intention. And maybe even the styled shoots come before second shooting, because some people will not want you to second shoot for them if you can't at least show
you
that
don't have a portfolio.
Yeah, or that you know how to use your gear. Second shoot for people who will let you tag vendors. Ask the question. What's the worst they're going to say? No. Okay,
Right.
well then I'll second shoot for someone else, or I'll second shoot for you because I need the money, and then I'll work my way to other people. So I just have to say this really quick. This to me is competition, community over competition, not giving location details, whatever.
Yeah.
You second shoot for me.
Yeah.
You could be construed as a direct competitor of mine. You have a very similar editing style. We are nearly the same person. Okay. To the point where our a wedding planner we just booked a wedding with is like, yeah, I don't care if it's you or you who shoots each day. You're essentially the same human. You're in my market. Like, you could be a direct competitor of mine.
Sure.
But I'm like, hey, can you second shoot for me? Hey, yes, please tag all the vendors. Like, I want them sharing your work, all this stuff. To me, that's community over competition.
100%.
Is not seeing this person as a threat and going, I hope she books some fucking weddings.
Right.
Like, that's good for her. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just, for photographers out there who are like, I'm not going to let you tag the vendors, whatever.
Kindly fuck off. There are also photographers who are like, well, I'm only going to book family photographers because I don't want you to use this wedding as promotional material for yourself. X, Y, and Z. Fine.
Yeah, here's my thing with that. I don't totally mind that as long as the person knows what they're doing with a camera. Like, you're not hiring someone who's only a family photographer because that's all they really can be right now because they can't handle anything else. Or maybe they're not as skilled with their camera, which that's not to say family photographers aren't. I know one specifically in the Twin Cities. I've started referring all my family sessions to her because she's so fucking good. But I sit there and go, if you want to do that, fine. I think the one example I know of is more because she's like, these wedding photographers out here who are second shooting, they try to take the day over. They try to do like all these different things, kind of diabolical behavior. And they're like, I almost want someone who doesn't care that it's a wedding.
Right.
From a just like, they're there to do a good job and then to leave, but they're not like, hey, can you do this pose and prompt because it's good for their portfolio? Yeah. But then there are photographers out there who see it as so competitive where they're like, no, I do not want you taking vendors. I don't want anyone to see your work of this wedding. And I go, well, you must think it's better than yours then.
Yeah.
If it's that crazy to you, you must see them as quite a threat. And I just think that's, I don't know. My work is one thing. I say this on my consultations. Also, in one of these next episodes, one of our little education mentorships with Mickey will be around consultation calls more in depth. So come back for that. But on my consultations, I tell people like, yeah, I'm a wedding photographer, but your photographs are actually not my main priority.
Right. Your experiences.
Yeah. I just know that they'll be good.
Yeah.
I want your experience to be good.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what sets me apart from other photographers. It's like, yeah, your photos would be great. Of course. It's me. Of course they will. I want you to have fucking fun. Yeah. So build a brand out. You'll be fine. Community over competition.
La-di-da.
Hashtag love is love. Anyways.
It is.
This was a rather long episode, which I love. love to catch up after not seeing each other for only like 5 days.
Hopefully you guys are driving really far to a wedding today so you can listen to the whole thing, or that this keeps you company while editing.
Girl.
Or doing emails.
Real quick, next week, I set myself up for some bullshit, okay?
I'm sorry. Where are you going?
I picked a wedding on Friday and a wedding on Saturday.
Where's your Friday wedding?
Very far from each other. Mount Horeb, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And I don't even want to tell you. I'll tell you offline where my wedding on Saturday is.
Okay.
And then I booked an engagement session for Thursday that is the opposite direction of both of them.
Where?
Marquette, Michigan.
Okay, so
I'm
slow.
all over. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I am all
mentally
over. I know.
Yeah.
Well, because I sit there and I just like, I want to have, especially with this engagement session, I want to have flexibility with my clients. And I'm like trying to do all I can. And then I really look at the map and I go,
at what cost?
I know. And I look at the map afterwards and I go, that was not good. So next week when we record, just know like your girl might be going through it.
Okay.
Anyways, thanks for joining this episode of Cocktail Hour. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything else. I try to remember that off book.
No, you're good. Tune in on Wednesday. We'll have a mini episode. I guess this is Friday, so never mind. We really need to start recording the minis first so that we can say tune in on Friday for, a full-length episode. We'll have this and this and this, and then we can, really cue the people into what we're doing.
Clearly, all this shit that I give about organization, I've not taken that advice when it comes to the podcast.
It's okay.
This is a spaghetti thrown at the wall to see what will work, but we're gonna get there. Like this is we're in our 20s.
Do you ever want to be famous?
I want to be rich.
Okay.
I don't want to be famous. You know what I mean? I think it would be fun to have a little bit of fame from the podcast. Like, I think that would be cool, but I don't want to be like Leonardo
celebrity.
DiCaprio.
No.
Yeah,
That's not how I mean. But would you like to be known for something?
As long as it was good.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would rather be a Landria than Huda.
Same.
I want to be known for my face card.
Oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about that, which we can get into maybe on the mini. We'll do a little Love Island recap. Yeah. So if you're listening to this full episode, we hope you listened to our mini. And if you haven't what are you doing?
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to talk about is I feel like my vocabulary is fully made up of other podcasts that I listen to. So like I used to listen to The Good Guys and they have the like, what are you nuts
segment.
And I fucking love it. And now it's in my vocabulary, not just on the podcast, but in general in life. Diabolical. I think I heard that on the toast, or maybe we made that up and now I just think I heard it on the toast. Armchair expert. I say things are like part of the simulation all the time. I worry that these, welcome back, Daddy Gang. I worry that they're going to come for us. We're going to get a
We're not there yet. Once we get big enough, we can just take this episode down.
Just so everybody knows, by episode 50, my goal is to have a very structured.
Mind you, we're in the 20s.
Yes. So I think this is doable. This will be like next
30 to
year.
go.
30 weeks, give or take. This will be next year. I think I want to set, and I'm a lot more structured on how we do this in terms of just like the editing, the posting, like all that stuff. I see big things for us. And I thought the same about my photography business, by the way. My desk was in a closet in that back room because I had nowhere else to go. We had already office set up for like our jobs that we had. I was in a closet and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't know what ISO was, whatever. But in my head, I thought, no, this is going to be fucking big. Yeah. I know it is. And I think the same about the podcast. And at least for me,
we're believers.
I have fun doing it.
Oh yeah, me too.
I would not.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
No.
I'd be doing 20 other things.
I'd be like, this isn't fun anymore. I don't like to yap.
We're over it.
We're over it.
Anyway, follow along with us on Instagram at cocktailhour.podcast. You can submit anything into our bio, any hot takes, questions, concerns, or educational questions now as we are doing mentorships with Mickey. Stay tuned and we can't wait to see you all next week.
Bye.